Matt Finn joins us live from West Palm Beach with more. Matt.
Good morning, guys. So that shutdown was avoided late yesterday, and President Trump carried on with his plans to spend the weekend here at Mar-a-Lago, arriving at about 8 p.m. last night. President Trump and Republicans, of course, doing a victory lap, showing unity with their budget victory, but it drove Democrats apart. Some Democratic House leaders, like Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, slammed the spending bill as partisan, to be expected. And Jeffries refused to answer a reporter's question yesterday about whether he has lost faith in Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who was among 9 other Democrats who voted to approve the spending bill.
Our caucus members have 2 bad choices. Different senators will come down on different sides of the question, but that does not mean that any Senate Democrat supports a shutdown. Whatever the outcome, our caucus will be united in our determination to continue the long-term fight to stop Donald Trump's dangerous war on our democracy and on America's working families.
So Schumer was among 9 other Democrats who voted to block the filibuster and advance the Republican spending bill. President Trump praised that move last night, saying he appreciates Senator Schumer and thinks he did the right thing. So now Democrats are pushing their anti-Trump, anti-DOGE message outside of Washington, hosting a series of people's town halls across the country, including one here in Pinellas County, Florida, in the 13th Congressional District today at 5 p.m. And Kamala Harris's former VP pick, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, is hosting a town hall today with Nebraska Democrats in Omaha. Now, the White House does not have anything publicly announced for President Trump's schedule today. We will keep you updated on any movement here at Mar-a-Lago. Back to you guys in New York.
Thanks, Matt Finn.
Thanks, Matt.
So, you know, this is such a great showdown between Hurricane Sandy and Chuck Schumer. And I think it's going to probably get very real. And I think it's important to remember that, of course, the way AOC came on the scene in the first place was by taking out the number 3 sitting Democrat in the House.
She's good at taking out old white guys.
Yeah, she's got a knack for it.
Yeah, who've been there for a long time.
And a thirst for that spot.
You know, Charlie, it's interesting. I was just down in her district yesterday, down in the Bronx, shooting some stuff for Fox Noticias, and her constituents don't know who she is. People barely knew who she was. Those who did know who she was in her own district had never seen her before. So it's interesting how she can fail up. I actually think this showdown is fascinating. It's generational.
Yep.
And that woman should never be underestimated.
It shows you just
ever.
how different the party is, even without Nancy Pelosi. I can remember several of these showdowns where no matter who was in charge, Republicans were blamed. And they ended up taking the blame.
You mean on the government shutdown?
On the government shutdown.
Yeah, you're right.
Several times. Ted Cruz, during the Tea Party movement, several of them were championing kind of the Thomas Massey line, we're spending too much money, let's not spend so much money. And someone pointed out to me one time, it makes a lot of sense. If you want to spend $1 trillion and you're a Democrat, the Republicans want to spend $0, so you just ask for $2 trillion. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then negotiating and meeting in the middle is getting what you want.
Sure.
Republicans are always at a disadvantage when your goal is to cut spending rather than increase spending. But without Nancy Pelosi, it's not the same party. But here's the guy that took her place. This is Hakeem Jeffries, the House Minority Leader, and this is him dodging questions about the Senate Minority Leader.
Is it time for new leadership in the Senate?
Next question.
Have you lost confidence in him, the fact that you guys see this so differently?
Next question.
Mr. Leader, why were you afraid to say anything about Schumer when you were asked?
Don't characterize. No. Do not characterize.
No, my question was, why are you afraid to say anything?
Do not characterize my remarks. I'm not afraid about anything. Anything.
But you went to another question.
Anything.
Twice.
I said I was very clear that we look forward to working with every single one of our Senate Democratic colleagues. Every single one of them to push back against the Trump administration.
Yeah, he's acting like his manhood was called into question. I'm not afraid of anything. But, you know, obviously the House and the Senate taking different positions on this. The other thing that's happening is Tim Walz is leading the charge, going to everybody's districts that they think.
That's a change. He's not used to leading the charge. Usually he sits at home while his unit deploys.
He'll be there, Joy, with jazz hands.
Yeah, there you go.
And he will...
Armed with jazz hands.
Armed with jazz hands. Armed with jazz hands, going to these districts. Is this going to make a difference, you guys? I mean, some of these districts are really ruby red.
Yeah, I don't think that they are going to make a difference. And I think it's kind of funny, you know, we've seen a lot of coverage of some of these town halls. These are the fakest town halls I've ever seen, where these Republicans get accosted by voters, and they're not real voters. They're not real Republican voters who are showing up. No. They're not regular constituents. They're programmed Democrat operatives going in, and they're getting upset at members, yelling at them, saying things like, you know, how dare Trump say something funny about Justin Trudeau. I've never heard a single regular voter who cares what Donald Trump says about Justin Trudeau. But those are their list of grievances, and and I think it's stupid for Republicans to fall for it and do
care.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, don't
Why?
care about it.
Yeah, exactly. Just dismiss this.
You know, and these fake AstroTurf activists, it's going to keep getting worse as the USAID money that was getting funneled into NGOs, as that dries up, the protests get like lamer and lamer.
They're not going to do it out of passion?
No. Well, guess who's back, you guys? This is a nice little flashback to Barack Obama, who's sounding a lot like Elon Musk. Watch.
Everyone knows that getting rid of the deficit will require some tough decisions. And that includes cutting back on billions of dollars in programs that a lot of people care about. But what should be easy is getting rid of the pointless waste and stupid spending that doesn't benefit anybody. We're calling it the campaign to cut waste.
Not just eliminating fraud and waste, we hope to be instilling an entire new culture that not only our administration, but every succeeding administration.
So then Elon Musk, of course, posts, wow, that sounds just like Doge. It does, except the difference is Elon Musk means it, and those guys were just flapping their lips, right?
Yeah, it reminds me of the old John Kerry thing. I was before I was against it.
But they said it, they never meant it, and they didn't cut one darn thing, ever.
Of course.
Well, they did cut a website called Fiddling Foresters. I did see that. So I think it was like a $600 a year website, and Obama, in one of his commercials, talked about the Fiddling Foresters and how we shouldn't be paying for that. I tend to agree, but, you know, I kind of like the Fiddling Foresters more than I do the trans mice in Siberia or know, whatever the other programs were.
Kids in Guatemala.
I can take some Fiddling Foresters. I mean, I like the fiddle, you know.
It seemed pretty benign back then, right?
And under Elon and Trump, it'd have to be the Fiddling Forester because they got rid of all the others.
Yeah. Or forest person.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. You know, you talk about this website, $600, and then meanwhile, Donald Trump taking down entire agencies, you know, USAID. This is, or how many did they get rid of out of the education department? I can't remember the number, but it was quite significant.
Yeah. Well, it's 115 billion is what Elon says they're saving in total. 115
it's incredible.
billion.
It's incredible. This is for real.
And the real difference there is that the problem with people like Biden and Obama is they worship the bureaucracy. That's what they love.
Yeah.
And normal people, including Elon Musk and Donald Trump, recognize that the government is supposed to work for the people, the taxpayers who fund it all. Right. And if it's not working, then let's eliminate it. It's pretty simple.
Everyone's upset. They're saying they're taking a meat cleaver to this, and they're getting rid of so much that good people are getting hurt. And I think the thing is, if they tried to use a scalpel, they would get bogged down in the legislative process and in the bureaucracy. The fact that he's having to meat cleave big chunks off is because we know they have 2 years, and that's what they have. That we know they have, and they're going to make a big change.
But I'm with you, Rachel. I'm here to watch the town halls where people stand up to defend the transgender mice in Siberia. I would like to sign up to watch that.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.